Next, what our 5D's era has to offer is the Fleur archetype. Yes, that is the French word for flower. And this archetype was used by Cherie LeBlanc, who is one of the more interesting characters because right next to Kiryu, she's the only other character who nearly beat Yusei in a duel. So yeah, massive prompts to her, and her characterization in Tag Force games were borderline delicious to watch. So yeah, very underrated character. However, its archetype is not as grandiose. Alright, let's start up with the first monster, that being the level 1 Necrofleur. It's a level 1 dark plant with 0 attack and defense, and if this card is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Sorciere de Fleur from your deck. Okay, so its only effect is to float into a very specific main deck monster upon being destroyed only by a card effect. I mean, you can use your own card effects if we were really to stretch it to destroy this card. But yeah, the monster it floats into is barely worth running, so yeah. If you're on this thing, go ahead and put in a few Sorcières, but yeah, I promise you won't have a good time. Their next monster is the level 2 Fleur Synchron. Yes, and this card actually does belong to the Synchron archetype as well. If I ever get around to reviewing Synchrons, I'll probably skip it over or just briefly mention it. But anyway, what this thing does, it's a level 2 Machine Tuner with this effect with 400 attack and 200 defense, and if this card is sent to the graveyard as a Synchro material, you can special summon one level 2 or lower monster from your hand. Despite, well, the discrepancy in this archetype due to it being a machine monster, it's actually a pretty nice effect. You basically just synchro up using this thing and then get another free link material monster or another combo extension monster. It works perfectly well in Synchrons because the most prominent monster there is Junk Synchron, which revives level 2 monsters upon being resummoned, and yeah, allowing you to go into like Junk Warrior, or from Junk Warrior into maybe Junk Destroyer, any basically Synchron monster that requires a Synchron tuner. So yeah, this is actually a very nice card in Synchrons, but as in this archetype, they have their own Synchro monster, which again belongs to the Synchron archetype as well, because it requires Fleur Synchron specifically as a tuner monster. Yeah, it's the best option this archetype has going for it, but then again, you might as well be playing Synchrons if you're planning to play this along with its Synchro. The next monster is Sorciere de Fleur, which was mentioned in Necrofleur's effect. It's a level 8 Dark Spellcaster this time around. Again, very discrepancy-filled archetype with 2900 attack and 0 defense. And when this card is normal or special summoned, you can select one monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon that monster to your side of the field. It cannot attack your opponent directly and is destroyed during the end phase of this turn. The effect of Sorciere de Fleur can only be activated once per turn. Okay, so upon summoning you can pretty much steal an opponent's playmaker or any monster to further your link plays, but we're still talking about a level 8, which can most prominently be special summoned by when a very specific level 1 monster is destroyed by a card effect. I mean, you can use it as well as a trade-in target and then revive it with something, but I'm not buying it. Yeah, if you run. You can run like 2 Necrofleurs and along with a copy of this, so you can maybe pull off some niche monster snatching, but I wouldn't advise it. I just stick with running Fleur Synchron along with their Synchro monster, and that is actually their final monster, the Synchro monster Chevalier de Fleur. It's a level 8 Wind Warrior. There it is again. Synchro monster with 2700 attack and 2300 defense, and requires specifically Fleur Synchron and one or more of any non-tuner monsters, and its only effect is that once during each of your turns, when an opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. This is actually a promo card that is only available when purchasing Tech Force 5 comes with Fleur Synchron and Liberty at Last trap card, all of which were trap cards used by, of course, Sherry. So yeah, used to be a pretty okay boss monster when battle traps were pretty more rampant than they are nowadays, but nowadays this thing is usually run at 1 max for style points and to stop that occasional drowning mirror force or quaking mirror force, whichever mirror force you're currently dealing with. And that was it for Fleurs, and time for the grades. Okay, as it is right now, everything gets 1 out of 3 except for versatility, because Fleur Synchron and Chevalier de Fleur still plays in Synchron decks, so yeah, versatility is the only one that gets 2 out of 3. Here, it's because it's a damn shame, because I really like Sherry's character, and I would really like to see her archetype be brought back to relevance again, because it's actually it actually has a very unique vibe and aesthetics to it. So yeah, I would actually like to see that archetype brought back to relevance again. Maybe not as much as Fortune Ladies, because Fortune Ladies are still the queens of spellcasters along with Magician Girls. Yeah. I would actually argue I would actually argue that the new Fleur cards would have something along the lines of maybe having this discrepancy thing solved by having multiple monsters, each of different types, so they gonna get the new world chalice thing with their archetypal type design. So I don't know. I'd actually like to see if this archetype actually gets some new support, and where does it go from here. But as for now, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more vids, walkthroughs, and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe. And as usual, I'll upload the next vid whenever I can. See you all. Have a good day, and peace.